Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here with Painted Studio. Give me just a sec. I'm checking to make sure we are live and on my page because sometimes we're not. And I'm not sure if we are now because it doesn't want to pop up. Let me see. Ah, there we are. Yes, we turn my volume down so that I don't have to hear myself in stereo because I barely want to hear myself not in stereo. Okay, so I am back. I'm sorry I missed you all yesterday. It was a rough day for me. I was not feeling well. I was actually homesick in bed. Hey Maddie, nice to see you. So today I'm back, I'm rested, I'm feeling much better, and we're gonna do some fun stuff. Now I was going to take you over and we were gonna finish the desk I started yesterday. Or was working on yesterday, but if you can see from my hands, I've got the gold all over my nails. We had a little bit of an explosion with our foam metal and I gotta repaint a whole bunch of that thing. So that one's not gonna be part of Alive for a little while yet. But fortunately, I was planning ahead and we have some fun stuff coming up. I have these little statuary busts. I don't know what they're called. You call them busts, you can call them a statue, whatever. I usually think of a bust as something that's only from here up, but it's not a full body statue, so there you go. I bought these off of, what the heck is it called? One of the online shopping websites, One Kings Lane. And they had great stuff, and these look wonderful online, but some of them when we got them home were a little disturbing, and they had my husband and my son, and I've had these for years. My husband and son were like, you know, I've had enough of the creepy guys. Can we do something with them? So I said, okay, sure. We're gonna take them, we're gonna repaint them, and we're gonna foil them. So I have them in all different steps. So the first thing we're going to do is go over each step that I do. Let me flip this down and you can see. Now this is the female figure. I think these were actually supposed to be circus performers, with sort of a vintage flair, because obviously they have this burlappy pattern on here, which I am not sure whether it was pressed into it. I think it was cast into it as opposed to being draped over the surface. But the first thing we're going to do, let me shake this up a little bit. We're going to put a base color on for our foil. Now I already know what color I want to do this one. So the base color I'm picking, and I rarely pick a light color, and you all know why, because foils rarely look good over a light color except when the color is almost identical to the foil, and that's what this one is. Now so you can see I'm running my scissors under here because yeah, this one's a little stuck, and I'm trying not to do what I was doing before, which is shaking it and then having the lid go flying off. So this is Set Coat Matte Metallic Champagne, which is a beautiful color. It's going to give me a great result. Let me see which brush I want to use. Okay, I'm going to use the better brush for this. And I have a very basic way of doing this. I start at the bottom and go around and work my way up. And I am using a nylon brush with a stiffer bristle, so it works into all of these little textures and crevices. And I'll probably end up doing 2 coats. It depends on how this dries. Everything else I've got here, I've done 2 coats on. Let's keep going. Come on. These don't take that long to paint, but you know, I'm a quick painter now because I've been doing it so long, and I'll miss spots. That's why I always plan on second coats. Let's see. Get this at a better angle. Maybe you can see what I'm doing a little better if I hold it this way, which is not exactly the easiest angle for me to paint at, but I know you all will see it better. Yeah, so the genius that I am, I started shaking up my jar of faux metal pale gold to finish up the desk, and I didn't check to see if the lid was on tight. And I know better, because I'm notorious for leaving my lids loose. So I'm almost always checking that. Not this time. I wasn't that smart. All right, let's get the neck and the back. There's that. And get her head. I always try to start at the back because then I make sure I get the back of the ears too, which are one of those funny little spots that if you're not paying attention, it's really easy to miss, because I did it on 2 of these already. I have 4 of them here in front of me, and I missed behind the ears on 2 of the 4. I scrub this into the ear on one side, and then I take my paint and scrub it into the ear on the other, making sure. And yes, I can paint in many situations with both my hands. I am slightly ambidextrous. I can also trowel a little bit with both hands. Nothing, no detail work, but big, broad stuff I can do both hands. So now you can see I've wiped out all of that aging glaze that they had put on here that made them all look a little creepy. And even if I left them like this, that was better than it was. They were definitely a little on the creepy side, and I get why my family didn't like them, but I'm kind of a Halloween and creepy stuff person, so I thought I'd torment them just a little while with these for a few years. And now I'm painting it over. All right. So that one is going to be set to the side and allowed to dry. And I think this is the one I've done 1 coat on. So if you look, you can see some of the brush marks in there. So I'll do a 2nd coat. I just want to offload. And because I'm being extremely lazy, knowing that this is going to go under foil, I'm not even washing my brush out. The colors are similar. This, I used Champagne Toast on the other one. I'm using Gunmetal set coat on this one. I just had this open, so I know I should be able to open that one. Okay, this is Faux Effects set coat in metallic gunmetal. I'm going to do a quick coating on the places that need a 2nd coat on here. 2nd coats can be very quick, especially when I know I don't have to worry about a whole lot of this, because most of it's fine. It's just right up here in the smooth spots that needs the 2nd coat. So the light 2nd coat on these, on the rest of it, is just a bonus. Okay. Get down here, get the neck. Yeah, right around the neck and on the top of the head is where I can see the brush marks the most. Hey Lisa and Donna, nice to see you all here. I appreciate you coming by. All right, we get the top of the head. And then I'm gonna turn it around, stick my fingers in wet paint because that's how I roll. There you go. Just a little bit of paint into these ears. Ears are tough. Ears are the place that nothing ever wants to get into the crevices. So, you know, take a little time, go back for a 2nd coat when you need to. Oh, this is so much better on the face and the neck with the 2nd coat. So much more even, which means it will look much better under the foil that I'm planning for it. Tip it back a little bit so you might be able to see it. Then I'm going to have to brush over where I'm sticking my fingers. But if you look, you can see the face is much better with the 2nd coat. A set coat is much smoother. Get the finger marks out of the ears. And then we're going to set that aside to dry as well. It will be ready to be foiled as soon as it's dry and I've applied foil adhesive. All right, so we're going to go through the foil adhesive stage with this. We're going to use Artsyville foil adhesive. Now, of course, this is not the jar it comes in. I keep gallons here in the studio for me to work with, and then I pour them into smaller jars to be more manageable. Here's another one of our figures. He is painted in set coat metallic true brown, right there, set coat metallic true brown, and he is ready to be have foil adhesive applied. And I apply the foil adhesive literally the same way I apply the paint. I start at the bottom, and I'm using an old brush that has a little buildup in it because it's stiff. And with the foil adhesive, that's really helpful because we know that this foil adhesive does not have self-leveling properties. So I can't just brush it on here and hope it's going to penetrate. It won't. It won't seep down into the crevices. Where I put it is where it wants to stay. It is a very dense, thick foil adhesive. If you look at it, it's not watery like some of the others on the market are. And the reason for that is because this one actually grabs the foil and gives you a great release. That's what you want. So this is applied. One coat is generally sufficient unless you're a slob with putting it on. Sometimes I am. And then you might have to come in with a second coat. And then you let it set up for a minimum of an hour. This is a permanently sticky product, meaning you brush it on, and after that hour has passed, you're at the perfect level of tack forever. I could walk away from this for 3 years and come back, and as long as it wasn't covered in dust, I could release foil on it. Actually, I could release foil on it even if it was covered in dust, it just wouldn't be a good release. So as you can see, I'm sort of rolling it around, and I know I roll it in and out of frame every once in a while. So I apologize for that. I'm just trying to get it where I can get at the stuff that needs the adhesive. So again, pay attention to the direction of your brush stroke. So like down here, because I've got all this texture, it's not gonna matter as much. But up here at the chest line, I need to make sure that I have brush strokes that are all kind of going in the same direction, or it will look very choppy under the foil because a little bit of that texture will stay and be revealed. All right. Let's get the face done. Okay, get the back of the neck. And whatever way you do the line work on here for the brushing, it doesn't matter as long as it's consistent, because like for here, I brushed mine into a sort of semicircular pattern, and that's fine because it will look consistent. But if I sort of cross-hatched all over here, it would give a very unpleasant texture to the base. Work it into the eyes. Okie dokie. Let's get here. Top of the head. Get behind those ears. I keep telling you, the ears are a challenge, so you got to make sure you get them. Okay, so we are now well adhesived on here. I'm just pushing off anything that's left on my brush. Use as much of it as possible. And as this dries, it turns clear and then gets good and sticky. If you don't wait the hour that we recommend, you can have a very bad release, as in it might release, you might not get anything sticking to it at all. Or you'll have sort of half release and it'll be really messy and gooey. So this one, I have already painted 2 coats and put my foil adhesive on, and he is good and sticky. For this one, his base color is set coat black. No metallics, just plain set coat black. And we're gonna start with our golden fossil foil. I think I actually have it listed on our website as bronze bronze granite is what I have it listed on, but it's also, if you're used to ordering from Jennifer's site, it's called Golden Fossil. It's the same foil. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit here and I'm just gonna wrap this over here. Now, for something like this, I will recommend foils that don't have direction, meaning they don't have stripes, they don't have lines. That can get very, very hard to deal with. I love using our V-mask foils, which is what this is. This is not a fabric-friendly foil because they release really, really well on things like this. The release is easy, and so it helps. Now, let me grab my little scrubber brush here. I'm not going to scrub up along the edges because I don't want to create seams. Now, I have no idea. I'm going to just try to get a patch on here because there's a lot of pleating, folding, and texture on this, and I just want to get a spot that I can actually grab onto to get a little more pressure. All right, let's pull it off and see what we got. Okay, so see what we've got here is we've got that beautiful granite here, and then it just sort of breaks up over the texture, which is really lovely. Okay, let's take it in here, get to the back. Keep wanting to grab the top of the head, but since I haven't foiled it yet, that would be a bad idea. Because I don't want to keep touching this and then making the sticky spots stop being sticky. Okay, so that brand, again, here we go. You can see it on the back of the neck. Look how pretty that beautiful color is, and then it just breaks up over this texture. So again, I'm not going to see this get all the way into this woven pattern here. So I want to make sure that when I choose my base color, it works really nicely with the color that the foil that I'm putting over it. Because there's obviously going to be exposure. I'm going in with some of my more chattered up foil, meaning it's already been released a little bit over this texture, and just releasing a little more, using up this piece. This is coming out. Oh, I love how this, I think my family will be much happier seeing these guys up on our shelves than they were before, because they were a little creepy before. And I'm gonna make these just beautiful now. So I'm very happy. Let's do the head so you can get an idea how the face is gonna look. Even the adhesive wants to stick to the paper down low. Oh, I'm loving this. Okay, and again, this is, if you order from Jennifer Ferguson, this is the gold fossil foil. Otherwise, on my website, it's called bronze granite because there's gold and there's bronze in it. When I put it on our website, I couldn't remember the manufacturer's name, so I gave it one of my own. Let's see how we look here. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Wow, look how good that looks. Oh wow, I'm so excited. Get the back of the head, and then I can lay them down and I can work a little more on the face. More. Back of the neck, because I get all these parts on the back, and then I can set this guy down on his back and we can do the front and you can see better what I'm doing. Woohoo! Okay, now I am on parchment paper here, which means that I can set sticky things on here and have it work out okay. I'm just throwing my extra foil scraps on the ground right now. That's generally what I can do if I don't have any table space, and right now I don't. Okay, another little piece. Get all in the face. The face I'll work in with my fingers because I gotta get it in there. And then I can go in with a toothbrush or my scrub brush, but really my fingers are the biggest help at that point. My fingers are warm, so it helps the release and all of that. And again, VMAS foils are a super easy release. I mean, look, let me angle that down just a little so you can see it better. I mean, look how cool that comes out. I'm really loving that. And I can go in if I want a little more gold around the eyes to make the eyes a little softer. I just go in there with my thumbnails, or I could do it with a skewer and soften it. Then I go into the mouth, scrub a little more in there, go under the nose. And of course, in the ear, me with the ears. Got to get these guys with their ears. I don't need it to look like their heads are black holes. Which probably, in all truth, they probably are. I know, I'm entertaining myself. I hope I'm entertaining you too. Hey Paula, nice to see you. And Barbara, thanks for popping in. All right, let me get this chest and shoulder area foiled. And I'll scrub some more over the texture for whatever didn't grab before. I mean, wow, just how chic this looks and how expensive this looks compared to the way they looked before. Now, you're gonna ask me, well, if they look better now, why didn't I do this before? Because I didn't think of it. They get, you know, if you put something away in your house, you're like, get there. So I've been meaning to do this for a couple of years. And the move, these were all wrapped up and in a box. So how easy was that? Instead of taking the box and opening up and putting it on the shelves in my house, I put the box in the back of my car and brought it over here. And we're gonna see, you know, where all this goes. Now the reason I got these, I know you could say, why did you get them too if you don't like them? I had a dear friend who had this gorgeous bust sewing dummy in her house. And I wanted something like that, and I looked for years, and these were the closest things I found to that. But they were still never right for what I wanted, so now I'm making them something completely different. I'm over that phase of envying my friend's sewing dummy, so now I'm going to do something different. I really love how this is coming out. We're getting such good release. It's changing it to be so much more elegant and dramatic looking, and a whole lot less scary. And this guy, I gotta tell you, this is the one I always considered the creepiest, scariest, because it has kind of a pinhead. And so his face was, again, his demeanor was always one that I was the least favorite with, but boy, stick some gold on him and he looks so much better. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Let's get this side. Okay, I just need one more fresh piece because I used some of kind of beat up pieces to go over the body, and I just want to get a few spots that I might have better release if I did it again. Go. Just covering all my surfaces to make sure nothing was skipped. Stuck my hand in something there. Oh dear. Okay. Oh, that's just a little touch of the cream paint that I will fix later. I saw what was happening. I see. There's a little spot here and it was sticking to the adhesive and the foil. So I'm just taking that off the nose. And look how cool this looks already. I mean, so much more expensive looking. So much better with the foil. Now the cool thing, we can leave it like this, or give me just a second to reach over here in my bag of tricks. If I can find my bag of tricks, here we go. Or because this is still sticky on the body because of the way the foil adhesive works, we can take some composition gold and add that to it too. Now I'm going to play with this. I'm going to do this on the back because if I hate it, I'm not doing it on anything else. So I'm going to take a Gilder's mop. I don't need any Gilder's tips or anything else on this one. I'm going to take this on the back. Because it's composition leaf, it's a little thicker. I can handle it with my hands. And I'm going to take this and pounce it on here. And we're going to see what this does once I get it all pounced on. So you can see it's already grabbing because of the foil adhesive that's on there. Now let's see, what do I need? Oh, I need a piece of, we'll use microfiber towel that's right here. A piece of microfiber towel, wipe it back. Okay, that's really pretty. I just don't know if I want to do it all up the front of this because that would have to cover all of this. But it has a really nice antique look, and since I started it, I'll finish it with this. And if I don't like it, I can always paint over it. It's composition leaf. This stuff is not the expensive real gold that you see me working with. I just want to see how this comes out. So I'm playing with it. I'm going to pounce it in there. That's going to grab in some places, not in others. That's a given. Let's roll it over on its back. Now my challenge, of course, is going to be to keep this off of the upper part, but because composition gold is a little heavier than real gold when it's in sheets like this, I can actually place it a little better so it doesn't go above where I want it. And I can do it with my hands as opposed to cutting it up and doing it with a Gilder's tip. So I'm just going to shove that all in there. Oh, I like how this is going to look. I think I'm actually okay with the gold. It's always worth it to try something new. Let's take that and put it right on there. It's going to be interesting to see how and where this grabs, because it looks like it's taking to everything right now, and I guarantee you it's not. better take one of these things here so that if I need to brace the head on something, I can do it on something that doesn't have gold leaf floating around on it. All right, let's take a little piece, tear it in half. Get that down here. So I know we all look at statuary that goes back into the Roman and Egyptian and Greek times, and we think of them as very plain, but actually many of those statues were painted and gilded, and because they are, in some case, millennia old, all of that goes away. You know, it all wears off. Actually, this is cool now because it's not grabbing it 100%. It's breaking, which is what I was hoping it would do. It gives it an old look. So I'm actually happier with this than I thought I was going to be. Let's get some of these papers out of the way, and we're going to get the last bit of this gilded. I'll rub it down, and then you all can see the final result. Okay, come on, go on there. There you go, come on. Again, talking to my projects like I always do. I feel like sometimes I just have to coach them along. That's better. So my husband and I have been watching The Queen's Gambit at night these days, and I love it, but I really have to stop watching it before going to bed because then I play chess in my sleep, and considering what a poor chess player I am, I could dream of better things. I really, really could. At least dream of better things for myself. All right, so that's good there. Let me get this going up here. It's going to need to be tapped into the shoulder. Oh, that's good. I like even that it's worn off that way there. Let's get that off the head. Little bit up on the shoulder, see how much of it grabs. So where it's smoother, I'm not having as much breakthrough, so it doesn't grab as hard, which is fine. It actually just looks very cool. I'm very happy with this. So let me grab my cloth. First thing I'm going to do is take all of this. Now this is composition leaf, so I don't even worry about saving the gold. I just try to get it on the floor, and then later I wipe it up with a Swiffer so it doesn't float around the studio. And then I take a cloth. You can take a soft cloth. This happens to be microfiber, which is a little more aggressive, but because of the surface, I'm fine with the aggressiveness of microfiber. You know, if you wanted to be softer and gentler, you use cotton or cheesecloth. And I mean, when I say cotton, I mean t-shirt material, soft, soft, soft. Okay, let me get that. So look how cool that came out. I am really, really liking this. I'm very pleased with this. Hey, Christina and Heidi, Debbie, Terry, Cheryl, Sandy. Sorry, I haven't looked up. I've been working. But look how cool that came out. So we went from that ugly, antiqued, scary guy to what looks like now a really elegant looking statue. Now, again, if you liked it the way it was before, don't gild it like I did. So I keep wiping on it because there's little bits floating around on it, and I can still see it raised up a little. So I come back, I burnish down a little more, and what that actually does, take off a little more, make it a little more aged looking. Look how cool that is. I am so pleased with that. And if you look up close, you can see it's broken in there. So you see the foil underneath and then the compo gold on top. It's not perfect here where it was smoother. It didn't have any exposed adhesive, so it didn't grab. And that is part of what gives it that wonderful old look. I'm really happy with that. Okay, let's see. And flip this up, I'm gonna look at my questions. I don't think any of you all had a question, and I was right, you don't. But if you have questions as we go along, don't hesitate, post them on the thread. I'll be here and I'll be happy to answer them for you. All right, everyone, have a great July afternoon. Stay cool, stay comfortable, and stay creative. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.